camp's conservative, one camp's liberal. Got all that. People have their different viewpoints, but you know, if you don't keep the patient alive, there is going to be nothing. And it astounds me that no one seems. Yeah, I know they do, but there's a lot of people that don't seem to get it to say we have to do something.
We'll keep the pressure on, sir. I promise you, because
we have to stop this. I mean, it's got to stop.
Yep.
Or
Ernie Mingus.
Pleasure to see you. Go Mox.
You know, we're really in trouble.
Good.
So
Yes, sir.
We don't want the speaker backing off and negotiating and being a great guy. But
well, he negotiated as hard as he could. Harry Reid wouldn't budge. The White House wouldn't budge. And we did the best we could on fiscal 2011 that we could. 2012 is going to be a big fight. The debt ceiling. Obama wants the debt ceiling raised. This will be the third time under his administration.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's so bad. This is money that he has spent. This is to pay for sins in the past.
We take in debt.
Well,
if they get themselves under control.
I'm fighting them on the debt ceiling. The biggest problem is this is for money that they've already spent. He's gone crazy the way he spent money, and it's not just him. It's Pelosi and Reid the way they did that. It was. We had the worst lineup of the stars, if you will, when we got Reid in the Senate, Pelosi in the House, and him in the White House, and it was a disaster. And the American people are paying a dear price for this.
Yeah.
And
we really do want you guys. To hold firm.
And the worst part about it, our debt is being held by foreign countries now. Americans used to hold our debt.
That's right.
There was a company this week sold all its treasuries, a big Wall Street firm. That worries me. So
better start learning how to speak Mandarin.
So we've got to make sure. And here's the other thing: we've got to make sure in 2012 we get a new president and we elect conservatives.
Don't say
in the Senate.
if.
Yeah. Well,
say when.
We've got to get a good candidate though, because he's going to have the liberal media backing him. He's going to have all of his constituency come out for him. The tax and spend liberals, they're going to be tough to beat. So we got to stay together. We got to stay committed. We got to stay together.
We're going to stay behind you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to stand with you. We're going to fight for you
and help people in other states where they got a chance of electing Republicans.
Ryan did a fantastic job.
Didn't he? I thanked him
He did a
yesterday.
fantastic job. He's an adult. He's really an adult. He's trying to solve his problem like a small businessman would try to solve a problem, like we are.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. And there was actually a more conservative budget on the floor yesterday than his that I voted for. I did vote for his budget, okay? But we had an RSC. I belong to a group that's more conservative, if you will, than the average General House Republicans. Okay, it's called the Republican Study Group. We had our own budget, and I voted for that. That failed. That concerned me. It had more cuts.
Congressman, one thing I really worry about is we get so sidetracked on these social issues such as abortion and all this, we don't stick to the financial issues. A lot of this stuff has nothing even to do with the federal government. This has to do with state and individual rights. The federal government has to get its fiscal house in order, and the Republicans are always fighting, whether we ought to have pro-life, we ought to have, or I'm just,
we don't want
money.
We don't want federal funds going for Planned Parenthood.
I don't either.
And
but
that shouldn't be the role of the federal government. And I have taken them to task. What Planned Parenthood is doing in this country is a disaster.
The federal government needs to be completely out of the situation, totally. No funds, just getting out of it.
And that's how I voted. That's how I voted.
But they backed off that.
The Senate did. The Senate did, darn it.
And we lost that.
Yeah. Well, we lost that fight, but you got to remember, we're going to be continuing to fight that fight and squeeze them. And we have got to get the federal government out of things it shouldn't be doing. And funding the liberal left and their programs, I voted against NPR. That's one of those things. We took a little heat for that, but government, whether you like it or not, or whether you don't like it or not, the federal government shouldn't be doing that.
If NPR can stand on its own and make money,
right.
I have to. No one's subsidizing my dental practice.
Yeah,
you did support the Cowboy Poetry Festival, right? You didn't vote against that one, right? The Nevada Cowboy Poetry Festival. We don't want to see that go away now.
I'm sorry.
No, that's a Harry Reid. He got up on the Senate floor and said
Yeah.
you just can't possibly cut funds for this, and like,
Voted to cut.
hey people, that's just standing on its own.
You know, it
merit.
sounds like almost a joke coming from the other side at this point. It wasn't so damn scary.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it's so scary, and it's just so nonsensical.
They don't think there's a spending problem in this country. They've said that on the floor, and
There
it
is.
stuns me.
It is.
It's a spending crisis. We're in crisis.
If you ever, there's a fellow that sits with me at work. He's actually born in Greece, and he's now an American for like a lot of years. But we talk about a lot of
Let me
this.
shake this gentleman's hand too while Billy's visiting with this Chuck Fleischmann. Good to see you.
But I mean, he talks about like you see things going on in Greece, and it's like, hey, he understands. He understands better than a lot of Americans do. But I mean, we have a real problem. We sit and look at the debt. It's staggering.
And if you look at the projections, if we don't do anything, you've got revenues kind of going like this, maybe a little like that, and spending just going like that. And you look where Greece was, you look where we're fixing to go. Something else I did, wasn't this week, it was last week before, I've co-sponsored a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. I think that's critical. Tennessee's got one, a lot of states have them. That would be a way, if we could put that in place, that the government couldn't do what they're doing now. There wouldn't be an ability for them to raise the debt ceiling or to spend beyond that.
It seems like they bypassed everything they're not supposed to do anyway at this point. I mean, they just, we're going to do it anyway.
Let me ask you a question. What you see up there? The states are getting kind of, I won't say rowdy, but they're getting really nervous and very vocal. And I think that's going to continue to get worse if the federal government keeps on and keeps on. Is there concern in Washington about just trampling states' rights? And eventually states are going to do something. I mean, I don't know what.
It's an interesting question. Fortunately, our state, Tennessee, is in good shape financially.
Right.
The reason's plain and simple. We have a balanced budget amendment, and we, thank God, we have no state income tax. What we take in, we spend. What we can't, we don't. So they cannot deficit spend, and that's why we're in such good shape. That's why business is coming to Tennessee. If you're fiscally responsible, the problem is with a lot of states like California, they're broke. They will never get their debt paid, and that's why they're nervous. And
We don't want you guys voting on money.
there you
Not to
go.
mention Tennessee's a right-to-work state.
There you go.
You know,
Absolutely. And a no-income tax state. So
There you go.
we need to keep it that way.
Right now they're pushing for an amendment to the Constitution saying there will not be a state income tax ever.
Yes.
And that's important. I
Yes.
mean,
That's excellent.
But states are getting very, very vocal.
Yep.
And don't get them to the point that they're so vocal that we, have
Well, we will have a dialogue, but we need the point is we need fiscal responsibility at the local level, the state level, and at the federal level. And the hardest thing is to get it at the federal level. So because they're just used to this crazy deficit spending. Well, guys, I've enjoyed it. I'm going to visit with. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good to see
Nice
you
to
all.
meet you.
Wish you the best. Thank you.